What is up, my love? Thank you so much for tuning back into another video. I hope you are having an amazing Thursday thus far and that you've had an amazing week thus far and the trend continues on into a beautiful weekend. But without further ado, let's head into today's topic. So today I want to talk about being in competition with yourself, specifically your past selves. So I had this conversation with my dad the other day and it really made me think about how sometimes I tend to compare myself to everybody else out there. And with social media these days, it's very easy to do where you just look at your feed and you look at all these people that are successful or better at something or prettier or have more clothes or this and that, where it's just more than you. And kind of made me reflect a little bit that that is not healthy and is also not helpful. And it is not a good place to be in when you are trying to focus on your own growth and your own mental health and mental wellness and well-being and personal development. And the only person that you really should be focusing on is yourself and your past selves and your present self and your future self and where you have been and where you want to go. Because the harsh reality of it is that there's always going to be somebody out there that's better at something than you, that has more than you. It's just the way that it is, because there are so many of us in this planet and it is nearly impossible to be the best at anything. And maybe you can try really hard to get to that place, but someone will soon beat your score or rise above you, and that is honestly exhausting. It sounds truly exhausting, and I was in that race before where I wanted to be the best at everything, but now I just want to be the best version of me possible today. So what does being in competition with yourself even look like? For me personally, and you can take whatever works for you and whatever you want to apply to your own life, but for me personally, that looks like reflecting on who I was maybe a day ago, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, and looking at where I am now and seeing, have I grown from point A to point B? And if I have and I'm doing great, then I'm winning. And if there's something that I want to improve, then I can look back on those past versions of me, look at where I am in relation to that, and look at where I want to go in the future and make a plan for how I want to develop from my past self, fix that or work on that or solve that in my present so that I can get to this future ideal. And again, remember I talked about the gap and the gain. The ideal is like the horizon, which is impossible to reach. So you have this ideal over here that you want to eventually get to, but you are just looking at past versions of you so that you can evolve into this future version of you that you would like to have, but maybe it's not going to look exactly like that, and that's totally fine. But being in competition with yourself essentially means that you are comparing yourself to you. You are not comparing yourself to anybody else outside of you, because you are not them and they are not you, and you have different ways of thinking and being and processing and working and evolving and growing, and you have different comfort levels, so it's impossible for you to put yourself in the same box as somebody else. And obviously this is a lot harder to do in the moment in practice, but it is just a thought that I want to put out there in your little mind box so that maybe you can think about it a little bit differently and you're not going to be so consumed by social media and comparing yourself to somebody that has a very different path than you. You know, maybe they're on a different journey, maybe they've already gone through the evolution and you can't see that because people don't tend to post the hard shit on social media, because who wants to do that? Who wants to be openly vulnerable about their stuff? Well, besides me, I guess, and just post all of the things that they don't like about themselves or that they fear. People don't tend to do that usually. So it's impossible for you to know what's going on inside of that person's mind and inside of that person's life. And the only thing that you do know and that you do have control over is what is inside of you, how you are processing things, how you are moving forward. And that is within the realm of your control. So I hope this gave you something to think about today and that you apply it to your own life, and that you remember that you are only comparing yourself, you are only in competition with your past selves. You do not need to look outside and say, I am not like that person, I'm not where that person is, I suck, I hate myself, and then on and on and on with the negative rant that will just bring you down into a hole that will be probably very hard to get out of. When you recognize, if you can, I know awareness is sometimes hard when you're in the moment and in your feelings, but if you can recognize when you're in that place, just allow yourself to get out a little bit. Maybe go outside, change your scenery, put your phone away, grab some snacks, wash your face, something, so you can change your physiology so that way you're getting out of that hole that you've gotten yourself in. Because trust me, I've freaking done that. Like, hold some ice or something. Just like do something to change your body's physiology so that you can snap out of it. And then recognize that maybe you're comparing yourself to somebody that you shouldn't be comparing yourself to, because the only person you should be comparing yourself to is you, baby. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it gave you something to think about today. I hope you have a beautiful rest rest of your Thursday and a beautiful rest of your week. And until next time, bye.